Hi, friends. Welcome back to Brianna's Bookshelf. Today, we are going to be doing my July wrap up. In July, I feel like I hit a little bit of a reading slump slash just a little bit of mental health difficulties. So I was not reading quite as much, but I have still managed to finish 6 books, and I'm pretty happy with that considering the circumstances. So I'm going to discuss those 6 books with you all, going from lowest rated to highest rated. So this month I read The Blood We Crave by Monty J. Let me clarify, it's The Blood We Crave Part 2 by Monty J. And I gave this book 3 stars. So this is part of the Hollow Boys dark romance series that I have been reading over the past few months. And this is the second part of one couple's love story, and it's the 4th book out of 5. So in this one, we were following Lyra and Thatcher. And again, this is the second half of their romance, which is kind of an interesting way to like set up the books. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. And I think that's kind of partially why my rating was a little bit lower. I believe I gave the first book in this duo 4 stars, or at least a 3.5. I don't remember, but I definitely liked it more. I just felt like the couple was basically like almost together. And they weren't quite together in the first one, but like we were getting enough crumbs. And then with this one, it just kind of prolonged. There was other like mystery stuff happening, but yeah, it wasn't like as exciting to me. But overall, this series is really fun if you want like a dark romance, found family, a lot of like guys who are misfits in their town, and there is also this mystery underpinning the whole series. And I now have just 1 book to go to finish this series, which is very exciting because I don't think I've ever finished a like connected standalone romance series because I've like just gotten into them in the past like year or two. So it's very exciting, and I'm so close to finishing The Hollow Boys. Also coming in at 3 stars, we have Widow's Point: The Complete Haunting, which is by Richard Chismar and W.H. Chismar. And this I got from the library and was reading this during Summerween, but then I kind of failed Summerween a little bit. I was making a vlog and everything, and then I kind of abandoned that. I might pick it up again later, we'll see. But that was like about when my mental health issues were hitting, and it took me so long to finish this book, which definitely impacted my experience. This is like a found footage style book where you get different audio transcripts and video transcripts written out, and you're following this ghost hunting crew who's like making a video about this haunted lighthouse that people have been like going missing in and being killed in for a long time. It has like a long history in this town. And so you get this like random kind of group, like it's led by kind of like a famous YouTuber type, and then there's a ghost hunter, and there's someone who is like a professor who talks about like histories of hauntings and things like that. So it's like a nice mixed group. And then obviously you get them exploring the lighthouse through these descriptions of videos. And I liked it in general. I usually love like a mixed media or found footage vibe, but I feel like this just like didn't quite hit the mark for me in terms of the actual haunting. There was definitely some scary aspects, but overall I feel like I almost got too much in a way. I don't know. It's hard to describe why I didn't like this. It just like wasn't quite right for me, but I still enjoyed it. It just like I feel like being a found footage, it could have been higher for me, but the story itself like just didn't hit me that hard, so I like didn't feel that scared or into it. But if you like found footage and you like, I don't know, haunted lighthouses, I definitely think that it's worth checking out. Then we have Garen Park by Nordica Knight, and I am giving this 3.5 stars. This is super random. I feel like I saw someone talking about this book online, and I like really needed a palate cleanser, like something just super like silly and out there and like smutty, honestly, to get me out of like the reading slump and bad mental space I was in. And so I decided to try this because it was on Kindle Unlimited, and it is a male dirt bike romance, which is literally like the most random thing. I've never heard of a dirt bike romance before. And I also think this was my first male male romance, and I really did enjoy it. We're following two guys that live in the same trailer park, Garin Park, and they are like mortal enemies. They have basically, like, since they were kids, been enemies in this park, like always taunting each other, getting into physical fights. And then they are also rivals on the dirt bike track. And dirt biking is like, for both of them, is really a good escape from their day to day lives. They both have abusive parents who deal with addiction issues. And then they both do also have brothers who are best friends, which is an interesting dynamic that, like, the two of them are enemies and their brothers are best friends. Very random. But so again, they're always like beating each other up and stuff. And then this, like, they get into a situation that forces them to be in some close proximity, and then they start to have like physical reactions to each other that they had never had before and didn't expect. And then from there, they are like starting to explore those feelings, and it's very fun. It's definitely just like a quick, addictive, smutty read where it's like not even like a realistic or healthy romance, but it's just like a fun time. And I really did grow to love the characters. It is a series. I believe there's 3 books in the series, and I think the next one follows the same couple again. I'm not sure about the third one, but I'm definitely interested in continuing with it. Like, it's just been so fun. Like, the second I closed the first book, I actually considered like starting the second one immediately, but I was trying to put myself off of that and like switch genres for a little bit. And then also part of my Summerween reading, I read Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. This is a T. Kingfisher book that like really wasn't on my radar very much. I don't even know like when it came out. I feel like it's on the newer side, but I just like didn't really know anything about it or have interest in it. But it is on Kindle, and the cover is actually really intriguing to me. It's like this kind of pink and purple kind of situation with a roadrunner bird with a snake in its mouth on the cover. So I think it's like very visually appealing, and that's definitely what got me into it. And this is such an interesting book. I would describe this as cozy horror, in that I don't think it's actually all that scary, but there's definitely like scary elements in it, but it's more almost like about found family and like getting to know yourself and things like that. And I really liked that mix. For me, historically, I think that I have always enjoyed T. Kingfisher's horror like pretty averagely. Like, most of the horror I've read by her, I think I've given around 3 stars. So the fact that this one was 4 stars, this was definitely a step up for me and like something that I'm enjoying, and I feel like I haven't seen other authors doing. So I really like that. But as for the plot, we're following our main character, and she just left her partner. She was in like kind of an abusive relation, like a verbally abusive relationship, where her partner was always ridiculing her and making her feel like she was so socially awkward that she just like couldn't exist, you know? And so unfortunately that happened, but she runs away to this small desert town where her aunt had lived. She's hoping to go move in with her aunt, but when she gets there, she finds out her aunt had actually passed away, but she is able to move into the house for some time and potentially take it over. The people in the town, it's like a tiny town, they really want her to stay there. They are just like a really tight knit, cute community. They loved her aunt and they're like so excited to meet her. And she really starts to like build up her confidence as she's getting to know them, and like strengthens her interpersonal connections. And then there's also this horror aspect where there are like these gods and spirits in the desert, and she is being haunted by a particular spirit that was, I guess, close with her aunt. It's very, very random, but I did really enjoy it. And like I said, it's just so unique. It's definitely worth a try. Then coming in at a 4.5 star, I have Fantastic Land by Mike Bakoven. And I can't lie, this one I'm like still wavering on whether to give it 5 stars. Like, I had so much fun reading this book. I also read this during Summerween, and like it was during my reading slump, but it didn't really impact my enjoyment of this book. I was able to like pick it back up once I got through that little slump and still be really into it. But my reason for not giving it 5 stars is I felt like I almost just wanted a little bit more from it. It just felt like it was almost perfect, but there could have been a little bit more. But I don't know. I'm still like, maybe it is 5 stars. I don't know, you guys. But this is amusement park horror. If you haven't read this, you need to. I have been wanting to read this for so long and it did not disappoint. We're following the workers at Fantasticland, which is an amusement park in Florida, when a hurricane comes in that basically comes way further inland than was expected, and it completely like floods and takes out the whole region, so that everyone is having to be rescued by the Red Cross and FEMA and things like that. And all of these employees get trapped in this amusement park. But the thing is, the, I guess, owners and management planned for a situation like this. So there's actually like plenty of supplies and everyone should be totally safe and fine. But weeks later, when help comes to get them, they find like a brutal scene where these teenagers have been like separating themselves into camps and slaughtering each other, and people want to know like why did this happen, like this shouldn't have happened. They had plenty of resources. And so the way this is told is like from the perspective basically of a journalist who is trying to write a book about the events. So it's told in like the interviews of all of the different employees that he interviews. But something that's kind of nice about it is that it's like not like question and answer style interview. It's written as like a narrative, like the narrative that he writes up from the interviews, if that makes sense. So it's very easy to read. And this is just so good. Like it got really crazy and I just like I wanted more. There was this one section, if you read this, you probably know what I'm talking about, in this hotel that was just crazy. And I wanted more about that. And I think that that might have been one of the reasons I didn't give it 5 stars. Like, it was so scary. And I was like, can't we get more about this? But, maybe some of the scariness was not knowing, sometimes that's the case. But I absolutely adored this, and I don't know, maybe it's 4.5, maybe it's 5, I'm not sure. It was so good, and I'm definitely probably gonna want to read this again in the future. And my one for sure 5 star is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This was actually my first time reading The Hobbit. I feel like this is a very classic book for a lot of people to read in their childhood. I never read this when I was younger. I have actually already read the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I read that a few years ago, like way before I started any sort of book social media. And I absolutely love that. And I'm definitely a Lord of the Rings fan. But somehow I just didn't know that much about The Hobbit. Like, despite even watching the Lord of the Rings movies, I don't think I've ever fully watched the Hobbit movies completely through. Like, I've seen parts of them, but not completely, which is just so insane. So it was amazing to finally sit down and read this and get the full story. I will say I still think I enjoy Lord of the Rings more because this is written to what feels like almost a younger audience. Like, it feels more fairy tale like in that it's being like told to you. Like, it feels more third perspective and a little bit like simpler writing, but I still really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm just grateful that this story exists. I had so much fun with it, and it's definitely one that I would return to. And this world just means a lot to me. So basically, it was going to be a 5 star no matter what. All right. Those are the 6 books that I read in July. I'm curious to hear, please let me know down below what your favorite book you read in July was. And if you'd like to let me know you were here, you can leave a mountain emoji. All right, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.